Hey guys, it's Russell back, and on today's video I am going to be reviewing and testing out Rain-X Foaming Car Wash Concentrate. This car wash concentrate is the first Rain-X product I believe I've ever used in a car wash. They say that it's concentrated. Alright, we'll take their word for it. I don't know if you can see how watery this is. And how much that it foams. A lot of times that means it has a lot of cutting agents, i.e. water in there. But we'll find out. The way that we're going to do this is the way that we've done all of our tests in the past. We're going to use our MTM submachine gun style foam gun. We'll be using 10 ounces of water in here and 2 ounces of the Rain-X. And then for our hand bucket test, we'll be using 3 ounces of Rain-X in our bucket. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that on the back of the label it does say that this will not strip wax or sealant. That's a good thing. That means that it's pH friendly. And also it says, on the directions it says to put 1 ounce in 1 bucket of water. I'm assuming, and maybe it's not good for me to assume, but that it's, when they're saying a bucket, it means a gallon, because every other Walmart style or value priced shampoo, car wash, whatever you want to call it, says to use 1 ounce per 1 gallon. So, I mean, a bucket is too vague. But we're going to be using the same dilution ratio and see. I don't have any expectations for this, good or bad. I'm going to find out how this will perform with you guys. So, with that being said, I want you guys to see, if you can see how much foam is in here just from moving this around. That's really strange, and usually it's indicative, like I said before, that it's got a lot of water content in it, which would explain why it's so thin. Anyway, let's see what this Rain-X Foaming Car Wash Concentrate can do. Alright, I've got 2 ounces of the Rain-X concentrate and 10 ounces of warm water. I've already wet the car, so let's see what kind of foamage we get. Okay, the foam structure on this is extremely tight. Almost like a latex soap. There are a few medium-sized bubbles, but there appears to be absolutely no slickness at all. It feels like water. As you can see, it's very runny, and I had to, when I was foaming it, I had to stand back a little bit to try to slow the acceleration of the foam as it's going down in the car, so it wouldn't have this pot marked appearance. But as you can see, it is quite runny. It's already thinning out pretty good on the shaded portion of the hood, and also on the where the sun's hitting it on the roof. It's already starting to dry. However, it's not doing too bad on the vertical surface here in the shade, so I'm going to let this sit hopefully about 6 minutes or so, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Okay, we're back. It's been just a little over 6 minutes, and I gotta tell you, I am very pleasantly surprised at the amount of foam that's actually left on the car. It looks as though after the initial water separates from, the excess water separates from the foam, that it's still here. And as you can probably tell, I'm sure somebody will comment, it's a little windy out here today, but yeah, I'm very surprised. Even with the wind, which should have dried this out already, it looks like the foam is, well, it's pretty substantial, even on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off, and we'll see if there's any residue and see how it took and contained the non-bonded contaminants. Alright, so we've got everything rinsed off. You know, I'm going to draw a conclusion here. Some of the car washes that I've done that do not have a very slick feel to them are harder to wash off. That makes a little bit of sense. The car wash certainly did not remove any of our sealant protection here. It looks like it did a really good job on the non-bonded contaminants. The surface is relatively clean, and as we would expect, it did not remove the bonded contaminants. But I think overall the wash did a very good job as a pre-wash, and I'm kind of surprised. This pre-wash came out from what I thought was going to be dead last for sure because of its viscosity. But I'm pretty pleased with this as a pre-wash. What I'm going to try to do on the end of these videos is, in instances like this, I'm going to put a bonus section at the end of the video, and I'm going to be using 3 ounces of the car soap in 10 ounces of water and see if I can get a thicker foam that doesn't run as much. So if you're interested in that, instead of the 2 ounces per 10, then we're going to do the 3 per 10 just as a bonus section. I don't want to make people have to watch through stuff maybe they're not interested in, but if you want to, that will be at the end of the video. It'll be called the bonus section. But I'm pleased with how this is done. So let me get our bucket set up and we will see how this car soap does in a hand wash and check the foamage. Okay guys, I've got my bucket of water set up here. As I told you before in the first part of the video, this stuff is really, really thin. And it's weird how it foams up in here. As far as the smell, it has absolutely no scent to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 ounces of the car soap in this bucket. Okay. Agitate it just a little. It disperses, unlike thicker viscosity car soaps. When you put it in the water, it's not sitting at the bottom like you would normally get. Really, you can't even hardly feel that this is in here. So let's get our pressure washer and see how much foamage we can get from agitating this with pressure washer. Alright, that took a few extra squirts with the pressure washer. It's got a mildly dense foam, still with no scent. I can hear audibly the foam starting to break down already. There's absolutely, well, I'm going to say on a scale of water slickness from 1 to 10, this is a 1. This is the part of this that I don't think is good. It does need some slickness to help your wash medium glide over the surface without scratching. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use about 5 or 6 wash mitts to wash this car. The reason that I do that is because I use the 1 bucket method, meaning that once I charge the wash mitt with the soap water here, wash the car, I do a panel and then flip it, or half a panel, flip it over, do the other half, and the old wash mitt never goes back in here, it goes in the laundry machine. So this water stays pristine and clean. There's no reason to use a 2 bucket method because you cannot get that grit that you're picking up from the car wash out by just rinsing it and scrubbing it against a grit guard. It needs to be laundered in the laundry machine to get all that dirt and grit out. With that being said, let me get the camera set back up and we will see how this performs in a hand wash.
Okay, so I've just completed the hand wash and the car is nice and clean. I mean, what can you say? It is, it's removed the bonded contaminants just like we expected. The sealant protection is still perfectly intact. In fact, I want to show you guys, here is an area right here where I missed wiping the residue from the paint sealant off when I did it last week. So if it can't remove a little sealant residue, it's certainly not going to harm your wax or sealant. Now, what is my conclusion of this Rain-X? Well, I'm going to say that it's a good, solid performer. I'm actually surprised. The one fact that I don't like about it is that it has almost zero slickness to it. If you want to increase the concentration, you can do so, but once you start doing that, it becomes to be an expensive wash. And I think you would probably be better served using one of the higher end car washes, like one of the Chemical Guys products that has a 1 ounce to 5 gallon ratio and is very concentrated and has plenty of slickness in it. However, if Walmart is all you have available, then this would be a good contender. I'm definitely not going to say this is better than the Meguiar's Gold class. So far, I think that's the #1 car wash that you can get at Walmart. We haven't done all of them yet, so that could be knocked off its throne. But I think that I think this is a good, solid performer, and I'm going to say this is a good middle of the road. It does nothing outstanding. It cleans your car and, you know, does a really adequate job at it. So as I said before, if you want to watch to the end of this video, which will be right after this, I'm going to take 3 ounces of our foaming car wash, put it in the MTM foam cannon, and see what kind of foam, if we can get that really thick, nice foam from this. So this is Russell, and I will see you guys on the next video. Alright, here's the bonus section. There are 3 ounces of the Rain-X solution to 10 ounces of warm water. Okay, so 3 ounces of car soap and 10 ounces of cold water is still runny, but it's much thicker. That's what you're after. So we'll let this sit and I'll come back in about 6 minutes. Alright, so we are about at the 6-minute mark, and I don't know, for whatever reason, it seemed like 2 ounces per gallon clung to the car for longer. You can go back and look at the video, but some of it may be that the wind picked up a little bit. Some of it may be that the sun hasn't really gotten to this side of the car yet, but I don't know. I don't think if you're going to use this in a foamer as a pre-wash, I think 2 to 3 ounces per gallon, you should be good. Alright, well, if you guys like these little bonus sections where I try extra and different concentrations, then just let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys on the next video.